Are we ready?
I guess. So let's do a clap. 1, 2, 3. Not on
What's
my
this like?
screen. Not on my screen, but if you have it, we'll take yours.
Welcome to Sparkling Harmonies. We're your hosts, Lily
And François.
And we are two friends who don't quite listen to the same bands or genres.
But we are here to talk about everything and anything music related. Yay!
So this is the first time we haven't had a guest in a long time.
Yep.
We decided to go back to our original plans and just do one episode, us two. And we also we've given up seasons.
Yeah, season and series or whatever, because I think when we interview Julien, we saw we saw the problem behind. Oh yeah, but we have to put like a new episode in the first series we did, so that was a bit too complicated.
Yeah. So it's okay.
So now it's episode number 19. Yay!
Oh, is it? I didn't keep track.
Oh, I count on Spotify.
Oh, I see. Did that include all of the bonus?
The extras?
Yeah.
I think they are on our Spotify list too.
Yeah, they are. So you just counted all of those too?
Yeah, I count everything except for the trailer.
Okay. Wow, 19. So next time it's 20.
Yeah. So we'll have to do something special.
I guess.
I don't know.
So let's start with what have we been listening to? What have you been listening to, François?
I will have to read it because I want to say it properly. It's Be Badu Be. It's an English. I don't remember if it's Chinese or I don't want to screw up that, but she's doing like a 90s grunge revival, if I can call that. It's pretty simple. She likes the band that she's influenced by, and it shows because she knows the formula and all the details. Like you can hear the Nirvana part, you can hear the Cranberries part, but she's not just copying
them.
She's using like the fun part and the little because I remember back in those days, like choruses were really popular on guitar, but in the proper way. Like Nirvana, for example, they have intro with chorus, and after that, it's full-blown distortion. And she used that kind of formula on her advantage. But she have I must say, I think they call that ultra pop right now. Like she had a really clean voice and really poppy, and so
yeah. Well, when you sent me a song, her voice sounded familiar. I can't pinpoint her. I can't pinpoint it, but it sounded familiar to me for some reason.
But I don't know. I really enjoy it, and I saw a couple of interviews with her. I don't know if you already saw What's in Your Bag by Amobia. It's a record store in California. Normally, they ask people to walk around their stores and choose album. They invite the artists and popular musician, but now it's at home, so they ask people to do an order online. And after presenting their stuff, and she had like all the like biggest album of the 90s, like Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Bush, Oasis, and stuff like that. So that's funny, and I think she still lived with her parents because that was looked like a teenager room, like with poster everywhere. And
well, I feel like with the pandemic, a lot of younger people, young adults, kind of went back to their parents as well.
Probably, especially with the price of housing right now.
Yeah.
And what about you?
I've been listening to Day 6's new album because it came out. Huh?
The last one?
I mean, this is probably the last one with all 5 of them for like a long time, because one of them is in the army, and I think the next one has to go into the army before he comes out. So
okay.
we're not going to have any like 5-member J6 things for a long time, I think, if ever.
Sad Lily.
But yeah, so I've been listening to their new album. It came out, I think by now, like 2-3 weeks ago. And now I'm drawing a blank. I only have their title song in my mind, but I don't remember the album name. So bad.
Oh, this is the Book of Us or something like that.
Yeah, that's so it's the Book of Us. That's their series of albums of their latest EPs. So that's it. They have Gravity, Entropy, The Demon, Gluon, and then this is Negentropy or Negentropy. I just remembered while I was mentioning the others. So this is like the last album of that series.
Okay.
And I honestly, the first time I listened to it, I didn't fall in love with it. Like it's still an album that's growing on me.
Okay.
I think because their sound is a little bit less rock in this one. It's there's a lot more synth. And I think it's overall just, I'm used to Day6 being angsty and
yeah, but
emo.
you're growing up now, so
yeah, no, which makes sense. It's and I mean, like we've said it before, you know, like it's normal for artists to change, to grow, and you might not always like everything that they're going to release. But this album is a lot more hopeful, I'd say, like sound wise and lyric wise. So it was very different. But it's like I said, it took a few listens for it to grow on me, but it is growing on me now. And I do enjoy it. Their title track from that album that they actually made a video clip for is You Make Me. They have 2 versions of the video clip. So if you want to watch the full video clip with like a K-drama in it, there's that version, or you can also just watch the full band version of it.
Fun fact, I listen to the videos and there's 2 guys in Canadian tuxedos. That's funny.
So for those who are not aware of what that is, it's a jeans shirt with jean pants, right?
Yeah. The whole kit.
Yeah. So that's what I've been listening to mostly.
And for myself, I also listen to the new song by Red Fang called Arrows. It's a stoner band, but on the fun side. It's not aggressive. It's not downer or something. It's just like some dude that drink and probably smoke with their friend and having fun. It's mostly it. It's a party band, but they are making fun of themselves. The video for that song, it's Arrows. They're just making fun of them like 20 years ago. They just redo the same video clip, but they are like 40s now, or at least in their 40s. So this is the classic clip where you got the money for a video, you just buy stuff, and like I think Blink 182 did this, the MXPX did this. Like you buy a car just to destroy it, and you pay booze to a stranger in the street and stuff like that. But for that time, they're just making fun of themselves, but at home. So they're the guy who just bought like a $5,000 katana sword, and they just got everything they can, like everything, but just for fun and making fun of them doing it during doing it. They're just silly but funny.
Okay.
And just a little shout out to the guys from Thick Glasses. We had the chance to interview them. That will be a fun story one day. But their new song is out now. It's called MVP. I think in English it's most valuable player, but it's clearly a nod to a movie I used to watch when I was younger. Do you remember the series of Toby, the dog playing basketball?
Yeah.
So there was a whole series of that, like playing hockey, badminton, whatever. And I think at the end of the series, when that was really boring and like they milked the cow like too much, that was a monkey playing hockey, I think. So in French, the movie's called Mon Vaillant Primate. There's no link between that and MVP, but it's a nod to that because all the marketing around the song and the video clip, it's all about a monkey, and the lyrics are making fun of a monkey too. So
Okay.
have a listen.
So congratulations to Thick Glasses for their new song.
And probably there's maybe a new album incoming.
And so that actually transitions well into our subject of today, which is the album, like the full album format, still relevant? So when we're talking about full albums, we're not talking about physical or copies or anything like that. We covered that with François Cal a couple of episodes ago. Go check it out. We get into vinyls, we get into K-pop albums, and it was a really fun episode. But today it's to see is it still worth it for artists to make a full album, or can they just really live off singles now with the way the market is?
I think it's a fun question, because at the start, when I told you I want to do an episode with that, I was pretty convinced that was mostly dead.
Mm-hmm.
But after reading a bit about it, I'm not so sure. I just think it's things change. I think to me, I will explain later, but I think it just changed. Just it's not a thing to have an album anymore. That doesn't mean you can't record an album anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I feel like there's two types of listeners in the world. There are the people who will mostly listen to tracks, and make playlists with those tracks that they like. And then there are the people who really listen to full albums. And it also depends on the genre, because there's bands, I think more in like rock metal, that they like to do concept albums where it's meant to be listened from start to finish.
Yeah.
Like I know The Main, one of their albums, I can't listen to it on shuffle or anything like that because they transition between the songs.
Oh, it's a bridge each time between each song.
And so when I do, sometimes when I do have it on shuffle, it just sounds so weird because then it builds up to the next song. I know the next song that's coming up, but then that's not what's played. That's not what plays. And I'm like, wait, no.
But just to define, because you presented a bit, but I would just want to make clear, to me, a single, despite what Merriam-Webster and all other dictionary state, I think a single is not an album.
No, I agree.
To me, because how can I say that? There's no constriction. It's just a song. So it's not maybe I'm wrong. But
no, I agree. Like I think we both agree on the definition of this. So an album for me is a collection of songs, whether it be an EP or a full length album. Because I consider an EP an album too, even though there's sometimes 4 or 5 songs.
Yeah, it's a mini album.
Exactly. But a single, even if sometimes they'll release a single and they'll release it as an album, but with like maybe a remastered other track and an instrumental version of the same song. That I do not consider that an album. No.
Is it still a thing? Those kind of okay. Especially for me, I'm French, so when I was younger, what we used to call a single was like a small album with like 3 songs, like you just described, like the new song, probably an alternate version of it or something like that, and probably 2 or 3 B-sides. Like they know they won't put it on the album, but they want to put it out somewhere.
Yeah, but I feel like that's mostly not done anymore. Like I just mentioned it like that, but
been a long time.
Because when Day 6, because when I got into Day 6, I looked up their whole discography and they had some singles like that.
Okay.
Where they had the title, the single and the instrumental version of the single and maybe another song with it.
Okay, because I remember like when I was really into Nirvana and stuff like that, that was a cheaper way to get into the old discography because you can buy single for like $5 or $10. So like you had the new song or the song you like, and sometimes you discover something you never heard about because
Yeah.
B-side and rarities were kind of hard for kids in the middle of nowhere to get a grasp on it. But I,
Yeah.
that,
Well, no,
oh,
I'm sorry. What were you gonna?
no, but it just to me like what we call a single now. It's really one song, like
Yeah.
a hit
Well,
song, I guess.
yeah, because I don't think most Western artists still release that type of single albums. I
Yeah, I
think
don't
this
think
is
so.
this is
Maybe,
this
but
is
I don't.
some. I feel like this might be something that's in the still in K-pop and not even necessarily for all of their songs either, because these were mostly for Day Six's Japanese releases, if I remember correctly.
Japanese already add like the cool stuff. They-
Yeah.
I think I talk about that when we talk about our music journey, but I remember all the Japanese alternative version or alternative print, as they call
Mm-hmm.
them. Like they had all the cool like other songs or added bonus.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe that's just a Japanese thing then. I don't know.
But
Um,
during the research I did, I saw the like a map of where there's still physical album sales, and they compare it to what an album as a whole. Like for example, the example was Taylor Swift. Her
mhm.
her last album physically was sold like I don't know, like 1 million or almost 2 million. And the guy that did the article said, remember back in the days when an artist was doing that kind of number in a day, in a week?
Mm,
But there's still market for that. And on the map, there was, I think it's Australia, Japan, Korea, and I don't remember, I think it's somewhere in South Africa. It's still popular to release album like
mhm.
for artists, maybe because it's in their culture. I don't know,
Maybe.
but now it's not the same thing anymore.
Mm. Well, it's because what happens, and this is something that's mentioned in a lot of articles. You probably see this too, is that people's attention spans
Yep.
aren't there. Like they're not. We don't have a long enough. Most people don't have a long enough attention span anymore to listen to a whole album. You know, they want fast paced. They want some change. They don't want to listen to like the same thing for half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever, except if you're me and you listen to the same thing for a year. Uh,
No, but on the other hand, there's so much release, like new
yeah.
release every day. And I say that even if I don't know all of those release, like I just try to follow the band I like and I can keep up. Like sometime after a couple of months, I discover, oh my, one of the good band I like just did an album like 2 months ago and I never
Mm-hmm.
heard about it. So
Yeah.
I think it's a part of it. You don't have to commit yourself to an artist
Mm-hmm.
anymore. You can commit to a song or a couple of songs by this artist and
Yeah.
jump to another bunch of songs.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like this started probably when iTunes became popular
Yeah, because you
because
were able
that,
to buy the
yeah,
song.
exactly. You were able to pick songs off an album and buy them to have them in your library. And then that was just facilitated even more with Spotify and streaming services now because you can really hand pick exactly what you want to listen to.
Yeah, and create like the, I don't know if it's called famous or infamous playlist.
Yeah. Well, so I asked on my on my Instagram what people listen to. Do they listen to albums or do they rather listen to playlists and singles? And most people answered with playlists and singles. Like I some people answered that they would listen to an album when it's released,
Okay. Just to
from
have
start to finish.
yeah,
Yeah.
have an idea what's on it.
Yeah. But then after that, it really goes with their mood. So, you know, they create playlists. Some people really like the art of creating a playlist.
That
Also.
there's a whole market behind the playlist.
Mm-hmm.
There's company specialized in putting your band on a playlist because it can drive people to you. So,
Yeah.
for example, if because how would you call that, a curator? Probably, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you connect to Spotify, you always have like I don't know, 90s pop or stuff like that. And if you can get your band or your song on one
On
of
that
those play,
playlist.
you're gonna get some feedback.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. For me personally, I listen to albums a lot. Like I said earlier, with the main, there are some albums that I can't listen to not in the right order. But also same thing with BTS. I'll go through their albums usually. Like, yes, I do have playlists, but I do like to go back and listen to albums from start to finish too.
I'm a weirdo. I have playlists of full album. Like like you said, it's a mood. Like, oh, summer. I have a playlist for summer vibe, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
it's a whole album. Like it's a list of whole albums. So I
But
don't know.
so do you listen to that in order, or do you put that playlist on
Depends
shuffle?
of the day. Depends of the day.
Yeah, same. But I feel like I probably listen to full albums more than the regular person.
Probably if you're used to it. It's
Yeah.
sometimes it's probably it's a taste that you can develop, I
Yeah.
guess. But
But
that,
on my Instagram, there was 10% who said they listened to albums more.
do you think there's a link to do between if you listen to a whole album and the genres you're listening to?
Yes, absolutely. Like my boyfriend there, we listen to music in the car, his music in the car always.
Okay.
He's the driver, so he's like, he's allowed to have his music so he
Oh, that's
doesn't stress out
why.
as much.
That's why you're doing your driving licenses now. It's your driving force.
So we never listen to anything on shuffle.
Yeah,
But
I understand. How can I say that, the quirk?
mm,
Like probably you want to listen to like you with the main. You want to listen to the album and you know what's the next song and
mm-hmm. But
building
also
the
I think
momentum.
so. This is when I get confused with genres, because he listens to some like metal, but he also listens to electronic
Okay.
music. And I feel like a lot of electronic music, they do have the transitions between the songs.
Okay.
So like you're supposed to listen to it like that.
Oh, maybe because it's a total different experience.
Yeah.
Like
But
imagine being in a bar, but not in a bar, but in a DJ show. I don't know, like, and there's like silence between songs. That's gonna be it's gonna be weird. Like people stop moving and dancing and just looking at each other
let's wait
between
for
the
the
songs.
next one.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like, I don't know, like if you're going to a DJ show, they're going to make the transitions like no matter what.
yeah, but that's the point. I think
Yeah.
that's what they want to translate
Right.
into the album. I
Yeah.
guess.
Okay. Yeah, I see. But I wanted to say also, now, like, it's true, people are more into singles, they like more picking songs. What's cool about that is, we've mentioned artists changing styles and not necessarily liking what they release. So this allows you to still support the artist if you like one or two songs off the album.
Yes, totally. And I think I start to notice it in some like album I listen to. For example, Gojira, it's a metal band that started probably 20 years ago.
I
But
interviewed them.
you interview Gojira?
Yeah.
Nice. So when they start, they were more into probably a mix of death metal and new metal.
Mm-hmm.
And but the guys are really great musicians, so that was like, to me at least, that was obvious they will probably progress into something else.
Mm.
And now as we speak, the new album is really that they transition into something different that probably the first adopter probably hate, because because the guy sing clean now, not
Mm.
always, but he's going into that vine. Uh, it's not always like everything in 11, so that there's more melody, there's more like down tempo song, but the four single they put out before the album release were like the most every song of the album. So that's probably the four song the diehard fan
Are
will
gonna
listen.
like.
Yeah, and the rest of the album it's experimentation and going somewhere else with their music.
Yeah. Well, see, that's also the thing. Now, a lot of artists, what I notice from, not necessarily, like, this is more from, the mainstream, is they can release so many singles between albums too. And then sometimes those singles have nothing to do with the album at all.
Yeah, but it keeps you in the conversation. Like every time you have a new song on, people talk about you.
Yeah.
People notice you.
Yeah. That's the thing, because it all goes back to the attention span. You need to constantly be out there. Otherwise, people are going to forget you.
Yep. Pretty fast.
Yeah. Yeah. But then again, there's the surprise albums that have, like, Beyonce, all the, like, this was what, a few years ago, and then Taylor Swift last year with the surprise albums, and that also worked.
Yeah, I discovered the concept of surprise album during the research for that episode because I heard about I think it's Justin Bieber did a 6 or 5 release of 2, 3, 4 song remix, mix and batch between, because I think there was no new song in the whole process, but he did like probably what we could call a mixtape of his original song.
Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah. But I think it only works if you're already big.
I don't know, because what's his name? Jaden, the guy who was playing music with Travis Barker, he's doing that in last probably 2 or 3 years. He have like 5 or 6 songs, and he's doing like acoustic version, or you have a new person coming in to sing a verse or stuff like that.
And so he released a surprise album.
I don't know. To me, with the concept of surprise album, I think his whole career is surprise album.
No, but because for me, a surprise album is you wake up and that artist had released an album, but there was no promotion behind it. Like when Taylor Swift dropped her album last year, her 2 albums.
Okay.
And nobody knew that she was going to release because she didn't talk about it before. Same thing with Beyonce. I think this was like more than 5 years ago. When Beyonce did that, it was the same thing. Like nobody knew they were going to release an album.
And they just did it. Knew?
But see, because that type of album only works if you already have a very big following,
I guess. But that's funny because now, since I know you and all your passion about K-pop, to me that sounds like all the alternate version you talk all the time. Like,
no, because when I'm talking about like BTS releasing, they're just re-releasing the same album with different photos.
Okay, there's no different music content.
Okay. No. And usually they like, because for their albums there's build up. Okay, they have a single coming out May 21st.
Yeah, the melting butter thing.
Yeah. And see, so there was that melting butter video. So for those who are not aware, BTS put a 1-hour video of a cube of butter melting, of animation. Jack, when I told him this, he thought it was an actual piece of butter melting. So an animation of a cube of butter melting on YouTube, just to announce their upcoming single called Butter. And then there's a whole schedule associated with that until the release. So there was, last week they released a concept photo. This week they released 7 concept videos. Next week there's other stuff. I lost track, but there's like a whole schedule. So no.
There's no surprise.
No. No, it's very, very like organized.
Okay. But the logic behind the surprise is like bring back the focus on you. It's because it can be a hit or miss. Like you can have like the whole focus for like 2 or 3 days and
Yeah.
that's it. And
Yeah, but that's why like when I read an article, it said this only works if you're already a buzzworthy celebrity. Because nowadays, like if you're a small upcoming artist and you want to release something, it's all about your engagement with your fans beforehand. Because now it's important to have your stuff pre-saved a lot on Spotify, on Apple Music. Like that's why a lot of artists when they say that they're going to release something, they're always asking people to pre-save it
okay.
on Spotify and everything, because that gives them a certain engagement and it gives hype around the track or the album, and that makes it so that I think they can be more exposed
Okay.
on Spotify. So that is very important for smaller artists.
But that can be hard because you don't have like the same amount of fans following you
No,
and there won't be a cover article with that like okay, but
yeah.
it's probably fun to do on the other hand because like you literally surprise everyone with something.
Hmm.
But okay, maybe it's just like the music I listen to. That I never have any occurrence of that. Like I
No,
heard a couple of bands that ask us to save or but surprises not that much.
no, no. Like I said, it's not something that's done a lot, but it worked really well for Taylor Swift last year.
Yeah, but Taylor Swift's going pretty well on her own.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I mean. Like this is only a concept that works if you're already big.
And I think she's behind a. I don't know if it's a concept because I saw that BTS had to have that too on Spotify. It's the conceptual playlist,
The
like
enhanced album.
enhance. Yeah, that like you have the first version, and I think for Taylor Swift there's a live version of the same album.
So I think it's they decide to create a playlist that's like complements the album. So that's why it's enhanced, because it's not just the album. Because I know BTS, they put the album, and then before each solo song of the guys, because in on BTS's enhanced album, it was for their album Map of the Soul 7, which came
7,
out
yeah.
last year, and they each have a solo track on that album. So before each solo track, the
Performer.
guys, yeah, the guy's song, whose song it was going to be, explained the song
Okay,
in a little video clip.
but that's fun because uh, it's I don't know, it's replaced like what probably you had in the notes in the booklet or something.
I mean, they don't need to replace it; they have it.
Yeah, yeah, for them. But now I don't know. Probably the last CD I bought is just like it's
Yeah, there's nothing in there anymore.
it's one sheet. Like
Hmm.
that's it.
Yeah,
So
no, true.
and
But I think for Taylor Swift, yeah, she just put a playlist with some live tracks, like kind of dispersed among the album.
yeah, it's probably worked for her too because she how can I say that she made a big build up when she joined Spotify. She finally joined
Yeah.
Spotify because she was late to the party, but she had like a fight against them. And that's
Mm.
probably why now she's like more into it because she took control, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because Spotify is pretty like close. Even if they want all the artists, you have to choose their access if you
Yeah.
want to get into it. For example, my band, we try to put our song on Spotify. And since we are independent artists in
Mm-hmm.
Canada, we
Mm-hmm.
can't do it by ourselves. We have to pass
Oh,
through like a company, distributor, or whatever. They have a list like of people that are approved.
okay.
So you have to pay, but there's services that mostly free, but you have to pass through their path to get into
Right.
Spotify. And
Yeah.
I think that's a part of what there's the money, obviously, but it's a part of what she was fighting against. Like, I want
Mm-hmm.
to put my music myself on the platform and control it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, but if we go on most of the side of the single,
Yeah.
that's funny because I read somewhere a guy saying, I'm old enough to see the full circle. And the guy explained, back in the 50s, for example, Elvis Presley, before
Mm-hmm.
he had a record deal, he had to prove himself on the radio by having at least 3 or 4 singles. So
Oh.
that's funny because it's mostly hit. Now you have to put some single. You can be like Jaden is a good example. He was a Instagram, TikTok star. He did 2 or 3 songs. He got the attention of Travis Barker, and the thing
Mm-hmm.
built up after that. But that's funny because that was supposed to be something of the past.
Well, I mean, I feel like it never really went away because Justin Bieber was discovered by doing covers on YouTube.
Yeah, but that wasn't his own music.
That's true. That's true.
But now there's still artists now that probably get discovered by playing on YouTube, Twitch eventually, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. But that's funny because now that means now you don't have to release an album or at least get a record deal to be considered as a professional musician.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, because sometimes, but I mean, there's always been one hit wonders too.
Yeah, but most of the time, one hit wonders were not really like
They didn't
working
just have
musician.
one trick. Or,
Yeah, it's part of something else, like
yeah.
probably the Disney Corporation and stuff like that. I don't
Mm.
know. It's just funny to see, especially now because it's so easy to record. It's so easy to have access to all the
Mm-hmm.
technology and the knowledge to do it. So you can do like your own discovery plan, I guess, like by releasing 2 or 3 singles by
Yeah.
yourself. And I don't maybe okay, shoot at the star, shoot at the sun, you will get the star or something like that. And but on the other hand, you're not the only one to shoot. So
No. Yeah. I mean, because I feel like since it's gotten so easy, like you said, to record, there are a lot of people who are trying. So how do that you then set yourself apart from the sea of people trying to get famous? Like,
there I guess there's many ways, but everything depends of what you want to achieve.
yeah.
Because you can live from your heart, but you have to be realistic, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not like place for 1,000 Taylor Swift.
No.
You or there's no place for 1,000 Celine Dion.
No.
So it's depend because there's I follow a guy on YouTube, Ola England. The guy released his own music by himself. I'm not saying he's a millionaire, but he lived by his art. He built his own guitar company,
Mm-hmm.
and he's the only one behind it, promoting it and everything. Yeah,
Wow.
he's known, but he did it all by himself. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's the counterpart. He didn't want to be like a multimillionaire and having a golden car or whatever. He just no, but it's a balance.
Yeah. Yeah. But also, this is just me. I don't know why I thought about this, but it like for me, I like listening to albums, but I do understand that when you release singles, you get more reach
Yes.
because the whole population isn't gonna dive into your album. The whole population might get into your single.
Yeah.
Like
Your
Dynamite
single,
last year, BTS.
yeah, it's gonna be on TV and radio more than the whole album.
Mm-hmm. But what I kind of find sad as a big music lover is, you know, I talk about BTS a lot because this is what I know right now, and this is what I'm like all over. But apparently there are like some fans who just discovered them last year with Dynamite who don't know any of their older songs because it's just like it's not something that they're interested in. And so that I find a little bit sad as like a big music lover.
Yeah, but on the other hand, they discover a song, not a band.
Not a band. True.
Normally, they probably never cross their path. It just, I like this song, but I don't care for the rest.
True. But it's funny because that's how I started, and look at where we are now. Remember what I was saying in like the fall? I don't really like BTS because their songs are a little bit too rap for me, or here we are.
Yeah, we were worried about the online BTS army going at us, but now you're part of them, so we're safe.
I have all of their albums. I keep buying all of their merch.
You're a full-fledged BTS fan now.
They need to stop releasing stuff every 2 weeks is what they need to do. Because shipping.
Yeah, shipping and custom fees.
Like, I have so many pending orders right now. It's ridiculous.
I hope you're going to do a show and tell when you got everything.
No, but so going back to the subject, like singles, they will get you more people, but then those people aren't necessarily loyal to you. You know what I mean? But is that even important anymore?
Or you need like a core base and the rest is with the single.
Mm-hmm.
Because every artist have at least a couple of lilies buying everything. But that's true. Because sometimes if you get your core, you know you're safe with those numbers, and you can like push a bit in every direction to get the bigger numbers. So probably,
but it's not as important.
Yeah,
because you already know you have your fan base. Yeah. No,
I don't know. That because, like I said, maybe in my world of music, it's not something really like popular. I know there's like band try to like do a curve, and because example, now there's a whole thing with trap metal. It like instead of Machine Gun Kelly doing pop punk, it's like mumble rap doing metal. It's like a funny merge like that.
Okay.
When I talk about Ghost Main, I didn't know that was that, but it's that kind of genre, and they like destroying all the codes of metal by doing electronic metal, I guess. But they use playlists, they use mixtapes, they use singles, they use like a special event, like, oh, I'm gonna release my first song on TikTok for like 24 hours, and after it's gone because the album only released in like 3 weeks. Stuff like that. And on the other hand, like the quote unquote real metal never do that, because you have to be real, use real instrument, and have a full album, and break your teeth on the road, and blah blah blah.
But see, so it goes back to genres, because singles are popular in mainstream music. That's a fact. Because that's how they survive. They survive off radio plays. They survive, off charting, which is a lot less important in metal, in rock, in
rock punk.
Exactly. Yeah. Because like now and I mean, the music industry has also evolved to follow that. Because before it was, the top 100 albums or whatever, but now it's you never really hear about top 10 albums or anything that much.
Not that much.
It's always top 10 songs. Or,
the Billboard is not as relevant as it was like 15 years ago.
But now Billboard, they're talking about song charts.
So they took the the new road.
Yeah.
But
But
that's something I think it's probably the same thing with movies and series and all the others form of art. There's always a corner that's keep the old ways, I guess, or
mhm.
want to do it like their own. Um, I read an interviews with the founder, I think, of Bandcamp, and he said for their platform, uh, the whole album thing is really like probably the most present, most sell stuff because
Hmm.
probably the artists that want to do their things because Bandcamp is yeah it's a private platform, but you can set your own price. You can mostly do
Oh, okay,
everything
right.
you want with that
Mhm.
thing. You just using the I don't know the system they offer, I guess. And but you said for Bandcamp, it's mostly albums. Okay, you say like album is pretty large. Like you have like EPs to like full concept album of 4 hours and whatever.
Mhm.
But for them, it's a there's not a lot of singles.
Okay. Even prior to release of an album?
There's some, but the majority of stuff was albums. That was funny because it's always like the underdog because Bandcamp is not that big thing like Spotify, for example.
Mhm.
But it's like I don't know. I'm not even sure it's called a streaming service. I don't know. Like
No.
it's probably more like a record store, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can't just stream music on it. You have to buy it, right? Unless some bands put their music for free, but then
Yeah, and I think if you can stream like for a certain time, like for
mm,
example, you can stream an album like 2 or 3 times, and you will have like a cute little logos crying, said, "Oh, you listened up to my music, like, but you never paid" or something like that.
mm.
They have your cutie way to do it.
But see, I think that's also the current, not generation, but the current way of music is streaming.
Mhm.
And I feel like a lot of people stream for free
A lot,
because,
probably.
Spotify, you don't need a premium account. Or
No,
if you
but
go
it's
on
so
YouTube,
much
you
better
can,
with a
I know,
premium account.
I know. I can't go back. I can't go back. But also, people can listen to music on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like the streaming has made it that people prefer to listen to one track here, one track there, because that's how it's kind of made.
Yes. Yes. Probably. It's like a side effect. Like you put
Hmm.
everything, so you don't want to listen to everything, but you want to listen to everything that you like.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's funny because it, the whole discussion made me remember when Julien told us he never actually bought an album, and I was feeling so whole by that. Eh,
Well,
but
I
but
mean, that's also that goes with your personality and what type of person you are. Because, like, for me, I've always bought albums, but it's because my dad always bought albums, but I probably have cousins that never bought albums.
yeah, I guess it's just a thing. Same thing with books or movies or
True. Yeah.
there's probably
But
some people that's still buying DVDs now.
I mean, BTS releases DVDs, so
So you bought them.
I haven't bought any. Oh yeah, no, wait, no, that's true. I haven't bought one.
Uh,
Uh, but that's another discussion. Because I bought concert DVDs,
okay.
but they also release like a bunch of other types of DVDs. It's so much stuff, so much stuff. Ugh, why did I get into this?
Pandemic. The pandemic.
Yeah, it
Blame it.
really,
Blame it
it
on the
really
pandemic.
did, it really did. But it's just interesting because like what when we were talking about playlists, I have one playlist that I listen to a lot, which is soft BTS and Day 6 songs.
That you choose, or it
No,
was
somebody
already
created that.
Yeah,
Somebody created it, so I followed it. So like when I'm just relaxing or something, or drawing or something, that's what I'll put. But it's funny because I'm like, somebody out there thought like me.
yeah, but that the fun part, that like you said, you like albums, but having like a great created list, it's also I have to admit that's something fun.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can discover band like that. You can like pinpoint a mood or like an era of music and just enjoy without like the song you
Thinking
don't want
about
to
it,
hear.
or
Yeah.
like sometimes there's those 90s rock, or
Yeah.
early 2000s punk pop. Those
Yeah, but
playlists.
that's probably a bridge we can do with a radio station, because they used to be the list creator.
That's true.
So, but they, okay, now I don't know. I don't listen to a lot of music on radio.
Me neither.
In fact, the only thing I listen on radio is CBC. I never listen to music because I don't really enjoy the music they put on radio. That's the whole point.
Exactly. Same. Like the only music I listen to on the radio is when I'm in the Uber.
Yeah, because you can't ask for a different song on Uber.
I don't know. I never asked. Well, no, that's not true. Sometimes they'll ask like, "Is this music okay?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, whatever."
But that's probably another side effect of streaming. Now there's like people, or probably influencer in their own ways, that create like playlists or mood lists. It's really popular, the mood list. I don't know why. I don't know why, and I use them sometime, but there's people that have the ears, I guess, to create those lists. And obviously Spotify know it too, because they create I don't know how many playlists on their stuff. But I'm pretty sure that that kind of music consummation way, I don't know how to put it, that way to consume music in a playlist, it's probably like the modern radio, or at least the modern music radio.
Because I don't know what percentage of people still actually listen to the radio. Like, and then there's satellite radio also, which is, I guess, a little bit more varied. Because
you can pinpoint like the style, at least the style.
Exactly. Because, when I was into my alternative pop punk, I'd never heard that on the radio, and there's never any way for me to hear like the Bane on the radio. But now with their new song, they just released, when they released Sticky, they got that song on alternative radio stations.
Okay.
So they've been on the radio in the States quite a bit.
And that's nice for them. They probably have like new fans that never
Exactly, because that's how people discover this music sometimes still, right? That's why Shazam still exists.
Yeah.
No, I think you misheard me though. I said Shazam.
Oh shit! What is? Oh, the thing you that you sing to it.
Yeah, that's why Shazam still exists, because people want to find out the songs.
I didn't know that still exists, because that was a big thing when it went out.
Yeah, it still exists. It's automatically on my phone. I think it was already on my phone.
Yeah, because you downloaded it like 10 years ago, and it's still on the list of apps.
No, when I went to download it, it was already there.
I didn't know that was still a thing, because you can do it with Google. You can push the little microphone.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So
I don't know that.
Or you can do like all the kids type the little part of lyrics, plus lyrics, and
see, that's hard in Korean.
Wow, come on, Lily. I'm pretty sure.
but it's funny because that part of, so like I said, when I said that BTS is when they have a release, it's very organized by their company. The fan objectives are also very organized because they have such a big fan base. So the fans put objectives for themselves. Like within the first 24 hours, let's stream the video clip this many times. Let's listen to this. And so there's also the Shazam thing, which I was like, what?
And how did they do that?
What do you
How
mean?
did uh, how big and how influential you have to be to put people do the work
In
for
motion?
you? Yeah, but no, but for free without telling them to do, because if I understand well, BTS didn't ask to the fan to do that,
No,
but
no.
they feel like they have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's amazing. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know how they do that. There's
But
probably like genius behind the band. I don't know. That's
also,
why.
what's one thing that, so this is completely off topic, and I'm
Yeah, but
sorry for always
it's
going
okay.
off topic with BTS. But one thing that I realized that they did last year was, so you know how there's like what's it called, the, like, let's say some of the big buildings you can have a projection of something on it.
Yep.
So fans come together, donate money so that they can have like the one of the guys' picture up there for his birthday. I think they had done that on the Burj Khalifa, one of the, like, the big buildings. Anyways, and so that costs a lot of money.
Yeah, like probably more close than millions than we talk.
Yeah,
But
and this is just to have their face on that for like one of their birthdays.
yeah, but the band don't need that.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, see
That's cool for
that's
them because it's free marketing,
it's
it's
free
free
publicity.
views, it's
Absolutely.
everything. But
Yeah, but it's not
how
just
they do that?
BTS though. It's not. It's like a lot of K-pop bands get that. I think there was once a war between two fan bases because it was one of BTS's members and one of another band members, another band's birthday at the same time. So the two were trying to bid against each other. Yeah,
Wow, wow.
yeah. All the things that I'm learning from getting into this last year, it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
And I think every time you bring something new, it's like more surprising. Every step is more and more and more surprising.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a big one. That was the one that I found really surprising when I found out about that.
Seriously, if someone that listened to us that is a BTS or at least a K-pop like genius, we have to have you on the show to tell us all the backhand we never heard of,
No.
because there's probably an history behind the K-pop revolution. It doesn't appear like one day K-pop was there and they were big. There's a build-up behind. There's
I
a
mean, I feel
story.
like it's been popular since the early 2000s.
Yeah, but here it's pretty new. So for me, like,
No, that's what I mean. Here it's been popular. It's been starting to get popular since the early 2000s. When you're talking about K-pop, they usually talk about generations.
okay,
And I think, I don't know, I'm not good with this. So I think now we're like at like sixth generation, like popular K-pop artists or something like that.
it's
Because
like a family.
it's like I had friends in high school that was into K-pop back then.
Okay, we need to find a musical historian or something like that that can like told the whole stories.
Because like back then I was into Japanese,
Oh
but I
yeah,
had other people who were into K-pop, and
so
it's just Japanese. I guess it never exploded as much here.
yeah, yeah.
Although
But
I did see two bands here. Well, one
that
band here and one in California.
okay, but that can be a good idea for an episode. Like find someone that at least was into K-pop back then to give
Mm.
us like a little bit chronology or something, because it's like it's a giant machine. Like they do everything. They produce everything. Like it, it's like Hollywood but for music.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's just, I feel like it's gotten more popular worldwide in the last few years, but it's always been popular. Like, well, not always, but it's at least been popular worldwide, more underground for the past 20 years.
Okay, I'm really curious. It's like Bollywood for me. Like I look and I'm like, oh, that's crazy. And each time I look, it's like I learned something new.
Mm, yeah. But so I think we've made the
Yeah.
rounds for the subject of today, which was albums relevance. For me, I still think they're relevant because I like listening to full albums, but I do understand that it's not everybody's cup of tea, and I feel like singles allows the artist to get more exposure, I guess. What about you, Francois?
I think I still think it's relevant, but it took a different place. Before
Mm,
an album was like the holy grail to get,
to
and now
achieve,
yeah, that was the goal. And probably now it's more like a part
get
of
that big hit single.
yeah, probably the hit single is bigger than the whole album now, but it's still a thing that you can do. It's a tool, I guess.
Hmm.
Now it's more a part of something you can do. So still a thing. And like, what about you? Do you still listen to the whole album? Do you prefer playlists? Do you prefer just singles?
Let us know
Yeah.
in on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and we'll be back next time. This was Lily,
François.
and we are Sparkling Harmonies. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.